Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
We are at war. Hoorah! War is what guardsmen pray for.
Kenny Boucher here, The Long War. Tonight I am joined by two legends, Mike Haspil and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Yo. So, here we go. What is it? The 470th day of 2020 pandemic crisis, coming from our quarantine beats lab across the United States. 9th edition 40K.
Yep, finally in our grubby little hands.
Oh, yes. Very excited.
Man, a lot of things have happened, and I'm really excited. Disappointment swirled together with happiness. We get to scheme again. We get to purchase models and paint again. I know Mike was talking about he was building his Necrons while watching the History Channel earlier today.
It was the old guard, and it wasn't today. It was like Saturday night.
But regardless of all that, we're going to accelerate the program. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to do a joke with Wyatt.
Would you rather live in a house where every surface is covered with red and blue checkered tiles or extravagantly thick, flat gray carpet?
Every surface.
Every surface.
Every surface.
I think I would like the carpet better.
This is not a magical self-cleaning surface.
Nope.
Can I ever replace dirty parts of the surface?
Nope. Can clean it.
I can clean it, but I can't, like, for example, cut a swath of my carpet out and replace it with new carpet?
No.
Got to go with tile on this one, buddy. So we're talking like toilet bowl, toilet seat, entire shower, everything?
Oh, man, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, every surface that is part of your house.
Yeah, we're going to have to go with tile.
But it's ugly as, like, borderline seizure-inducing tile.
Yeah.
Now, furniture unaffected, right? Like, I buy a chair, the chair's not tiled, right?
Yes.
If I buy a new toilet bowl, does the toilet bowl magically become tiled or carpeted based on my choice once I install it?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Figured it was going to be like that. Oh, man. Kitchen counters?
Oh, of course.
But I can lay a cutting board down, though, right?
Yeah.
But this is like not mold treat. Can I mold treat my carpet?
I don't see why not. I mean, if you can clean it.
Shower floor, carpet?
Yeah. Every surface.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's got to go tile.
Oh, my God. Do I have to live in this house all the time?
Yeah, like for the rest of your life.
Oh, my God. There's no resale value either way you cut it.
No, I mean, like you're dying in this house.
So you died in this house. Berber or shag? That's right.
Shag carpet, obviously.
But I can sleep on a bed, right?
Yeah, like furniture unaffected.
So traditional furniture unaffected.
Okay, toilets are not furniture.
I do a lot of sitting on that thing.
It's not furniture.
Oh my God. Yep, ugly ass tile. Ugly ass fucking tile. I know Rob would pick carpet. I just know him. Rob, what do you pick? All right. Fine. Let's do the news then.
All right. Let me head on over to the Rob Baer Memorial News Desk for some hobby market watch. Got some pre-orders coming up. It's Black Library Character Week, so a whole bunch of Black Library books. Got the Art of Warhammer 40K.
Mm-hmm.
$50 for that big boy. A new Cyphus Kane novel, Old Soldiers Never Die. It's a paperback for $17. The Hammer and the Eagle paperback for $16. Scions of the Emperor, an anthology for $21. The new Warhammer Crime. I almost thought they said Dread, but it's Dredge Runners audiobook for $17.50.
That's coming out this week?
Yeah.
Nice.
Arum in Exile in paperback. It's going to be $16. And then Warhammer Crime Bloodlines in paperback for $16. And then we got some really cool like Horus Heresy bookends that are shaped like Horus. You want to guess how much these are?
$100.
Close. It's $110 for 2 little bookends.
But they're shaped like Horus.
Yes.
I don't know. That's a good value. Better get 3 of them. Keep 2 in a box.
Yeah. Then also, GW just released some info on the new starter sets. So we've been talking about how Indomitus was like the limited edition 2-player box. Well, now we're going to have 3 tiered sets for the 2-player starter box you're going to see on store shelves. And instead of having like a fancy name like the rest, it's just their editions. So you have the Command Edition, the Elite Edition, and the Recruit Edition. The Recruit Edition is the smallest one. It's just like a single character, handful of troops, some dice, measuring sticks, and some paper fold-up terrain.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, paper terrain. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
It was like that First Strike box.
Yeah, it's got like the little foldable cardboard printed. I don't know what that's. Cardstock terrain.
Oh, the ones where you like fold them out and then like.
Yeah, and it makes like a building.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Elite Edition is a little bit bigger than that. This one has, the same stuff with the addition of some Outriders for the Space Marines and the squad of Scorpec dudes for the Necrons.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Command Edition is the big boy set. It still doesn't come with the same assortment of models that come in Indomitus. And this shows terrain in the picture. I'm trying to make sure that this is not false advertising.
Classic GW.
No, I think it does come with. So it comes with terrain.
Yeah, so it comes with some new battlefield terrain in that box as well. But you're still getting like the same number of Space Marines and Necron models from the Elite Edition. So like if you don't want terrain, buy the Elite Edition. If you want terrain, get the Command Edition.
I think the Command Edition also comes with the rule book. I could be wrong about that.
Check. Yes, it comes with the standard rule book.
Yeah. So it's like a proper starter.
Yeah. Let's see.
Is that a starter but with Necrons and Marines or just?
Yeah.
So Necrons and Marines.
It's like in 8th we had like Dark Imperium and then like the 3 little box sets below that had less and less stuff in them. So it's sort of like that, but for some reason, like the model count does not change between the Elite Edition and the Command Edition. So it looks like you're going to get 5 Assault Intercessors, a Blade Guard. I can't tell if this is the Captain model or the Lieutenant model, but like a Blade Guard HQ, 3 Outriders, and then the Necrons get the Overlord, 3 Scorpex, 10 Warriors, and 3 what are the Scarabs? 3 Scarab bases. And it's the same model account in the Command Edition. It's just you get terrain in the rulebook.
Yep, this is what was predicted.
Yeah,
so just and they should know no fear was like the follow up to Dark Imperium box set, and it's like the only things they left in there were the things that were sprued correct because they had a bunch of like things that were just for the release, and you can see how they were like had something weirdly placed on a sprue, so that whole sprue just didn't make the cut in the follow up boxes.
And so what I can tell you, since I have the boxes, I think most people have the boxes by now, but everything in this is a standalone sprue. So like the Overlord standalone, the Primaris Lieutenant standalone, Intercessors have their own sprue sheet, as do the Outriders, and then the Scorpex have their own sprue sheet, and the Warriors and Scarabs have their own sprue sheet. So there's a lot of stuff that is in those combined sprues and Indominus that I don't know what they're going to do with that. Like,
yeah,
they only come out in like a get started box or something. But like,
I mean, that's why the Blightbringer never came out anywhere for Death Guard, because he was on one of those sprues with all the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that's how it was manufactured.
Yeah.
So
who knows?
Interesting. I mean, to this day, you can't buy the Blightbringer. So maybe it's just like that.
Yeah. Although they have previewed a couple of new character models, and there definitely is a Death Guard guy who has been like, we've seen bits and pieces of him. So maybe that's like a standalone Blightbringer boy. What else do they show? Like new Sister of Battle lady. I'm sure Mike's chip is going off about.
Mm-hmm.
A new orc guy. A new Dark Eldar. I think that the prediction is that the Dark Eldar is a new Lilith Hesperax model.
Oh man, I don't play Dark Eldar anymore, but I will buy Lilith.
Yeah.
Wait, and these are the pictures they leaked that like they didn't show much. They just showed like a.
Yeah, it was like a video. Like the only model they've showed in its entirety is the Sister of Battle, who she's like a. I don't know the Force org, like a sergeant or a captain equivalent type character. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's the new Orc Boys?
I don't know. It looked like they were talking about it as like in the context of like characters. So it might be like a new character. But I mean, like I'm always hopeful for new boys.
I think most longtime Orc players and fans are exactly with you on that.
Yeah.
Stupid old model.
They're so bad.
So bad. It's the same model we've been playing the whole fucking time I've been alive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about it.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Man, news goes fast when we don't have our anchor man here.
Yeah.
What's going on with that? So you guys might have figured it out by now. Ra's not here. Haspil, who's that architect again? That famous architect that built Rob's house?
Evo Shandor.
Yeah. Rob's house was built by Evo Shandor, so some shit went down. Internet's not working. So this is what we're left with, cryptically deciphering his cryptic notes. And I think it's hard because you have to be able to translate once from Latin from Lizardman tongue back to English, so it's pretty tricky. Luckily, both Haspil and Wyatt know Latin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like their Rosetta Stone kind of translator here.
Yeah.
Good job, Wyatt, with all those roadblocks. So now we're going to go into a segment referred to as Haspil's Corner.
Yeah, so this weekend was painful. More painful than I thought. Like I had set aside some money, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who had this experience. I'd set aside some money on, store credit to prep for this, and it was still like, oof. But I was very happy.
What'd you buy?
I think I bought everything but the playmats. So I bought the journal. That was the only thing that really shocked me was the journal for Crusade. That was pretty expensive. That and the measuring thing was expensive. And I got home and let me just say I can't eyeball 6 inches. Let me just put it that way. Because that measuring thing,
that's impossible.
It's not actually 6 inches.
Yeah.
It's 5 inches.
Yeah. Here's your literally speaking of spin facts.
Yeah. So I was just like, hit to the ego and hit to the wallet at the same time. I was like, wait, this doesn't look like 6 inches. The end. So it's it's a bad story when you start it with, I think I bought everything but yeah. Oof. It was like, oh man. But I got the objective markers. I got all basically everything. So was very happy, got home, said, you know what? I'm not gonna work. I'm gonna give myself this weekend. And I sat down and said I was going to build all the Necrons in the Indomitus box. And for whatever reason, I thought it only came with 10 warriors. So
I did too.
Surprise. Yeah.
That was like way too many Necron warriors now.
Yeah. But I was like, oh, it comes with 10 warriors. That's cool. And then I was like, no, there are more. And I was like
20 of them in there.
Yeah. And then I was just absolutely blown away because when I was building some of the Necron characters, they had a corresponding Space Marine character. So I would just build that guy too, so that I didn't have to worry about that sprue anymore. And I just could not believe that all that stuff was snapped at all of it. And I was like, this is not just a coup for model building. It's an engineering coup. What GW
continues to prove that they are the most innovative and advanced company when it comes to plastic injection molding. And they kind of have invented so many of the techniques that other people are still years behind them on. And when you see these new models, it's so fucking clear.
And I was really, really impressed by the models from Necromunda, because on the sprues for Necromunda, it lets you really customize your own crew, your own gang, so that you can take like, hey, I want this head on this torso with these arms, with this weapon combination, and everything fits, everything works together. And I thought that was kind of the height of these sprue based kind of things. I was like, man, this is fantastic. And then they roll out Indomitus, and I'm like, I still glued some of the stuff together, mostly the Necron warriors, just because I know they're going to fall off the table and stuff and everything. So I still glued them together, but you don't have to. The fact that you don't have to is amazing.
Yeah, I usually glue them together myself. It's just that I like the push fit nature makes it so easy though. Like it's fucking. I'm just continuously blown away by this stuff. Like I've been building a bunch of stuff myself for my Death Guard project, which is not only my first army that I'm going to build and paint myself in 9th edition, but it's like the first time I'm going to build and paint my own army for like 4 years. So going back to my base, my roots. And so I've been getting a lot of these models, and I'm just like continuously being blown away because I haven't gone through this process in some time. And it's really, it's kind of like, I don't know, like it's a fun refresher and like, damn, this part of the hobby can be really fun. The collect it, build it, paint it, watch it all come together. That's a part of the hobby I kind of left behind for a while because of like my job requirements and my business and everything, and also kind of getting sick of commissions for 6 years. But coming back to it, especially in these times, I find the passion so rewarding that like just staying on, like it's easy to stay on fire right now, like and just have this like, just, I don't know, like simple joy of looking out, like putting your model in a place that you can kind of always see out of the corner of the eye that you're working on. So every time I turn to the right, I see it. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking cool, man. Yeah,
it's awesome. And then Wyatt can appreciate this. So, I put together 10 warriors and like put them together in a little small, like kind of, I guess, platoon or squad. And, I hate my old warriors now.
I told you.
I looked at them and I was like, let me go get my battle foam and pull out some like 10 old warriors to put with these guys. I was they're terrible.
Those were the height of GW technology when they came out.
Yeah.
With their clear rods and shit.
Yeah, since 4th edition, I've had those. And spoiler alert, I'm not replacing them. So all my new warriors were with the new weapons.
Oh, cool. That's a good reason to do it.
Yeah. And so I'm using all my old janky warriors with just the regular Gauss guns.
Nice.
So
that was the height though. Like when you had these clear little acrylic rods. And you remember how a couple companies came out and were giving you alternate colored rods?
Alternate colors and everything. Yeah.
Oh, I saw a bunch of people complaining like, I can't put my orange rods in these. Like, what do I do?
Paint them orange. It's easier.
Like first off,
speaking of that, by the way, right? So I got the 4 new colors that came out. And I don't remember the names of them now. I'm terrible. But there's one I think called Canoptech Armor or something like that. And it's like a mithril silver with like a little brown in it. Love that paint. Absolutely adore that.
So
paint.
It's like a warm silver?
I think it's like a burnt metal. I've seen a lot of companies make paints like that, and they call it a burnt metal. Like when I picked up these extreme metals from AK the other day, they have that sort of like silvery, but like with a little bit of brassy put in there. They call it like burnt metals.
Like I teach a lot of private classes now. One of the things that comes up a lot is painting metallics, and so for some reason, a lot of people enter in the hobby kind of like get scared of metallic paints, like which I can kind of think back to like in the beginning of my journey, seeing like how when I didn't have good brush control and like putting on metallics might have frustrated me. But an easy way to think about metallic paints is like it's just a color with glitter in it, right? So if you just look at them that way, like this color that Rob sorry, I already thought you were Rob Wyatt, that he's describing is literally just warm gray. It's just warm gray. And so when you're designing a metallic paint, you're figuring out the pigment, and then your medium is what makes it have this effect, right? That makes it look to your eye like metal, right? So think about that. Like I always try to break colors down, like, or at least metallics down to what they are. Like golds are just yellows and ochres, and bronzes are just browns, things like that. So when you start looking at paints like that or metallics like that, it gets a lot less scary to approach painting your huge army that is just solid blocks of metals.
Oh yeah. Like when I refer to metals, I just say like the color of metal it is. So, I mean, like in my videos, I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to pull out this like, what is it? Like old copper. So people would like know what paint it is, but it's like, it's a red gold. That's all it is.
Yeah. Or if you took the metallic title out of it, like kind of a burnt orange.
Yeah.
That someone put glitter in. So like that's, I just know with all this cool Necron stuff coming out, people are going to be, picking up all the metallic paints, and we're getting all these questions on how to airbrush with your metallics, and like metallics, like they gunk up on me. Like, I mean, what's going on?
I actually just released a video today where I painted the Necron Overlord using those extreme metals, and man, they are spicy. This dude looks like a piece of like billet steel. Like he looks like a real piece of metal. It's really cool.
Yeah, and the Necron glow, I don't know what you would call it. It's a glaze, technical? I guess. It is a technical, but it's not a wash because it's thicker than that.
So is it okay? Does it dry, transparent, or opaque?
Transparent, but it is amazing.
Do you apply it kind of wet and all over the place, or do you apply it more selectively?
Well, I apply it selectively because I only want it on parts of the. And so on
the parts that it touches that are kind of smoother, does it dry more transparent there, and does it build up in the shelves and stay more opaque there?
Or I think it stays more opaque because it gives a glow, and it's not quite as bright because the rest of my Necron army, what I was using was like a neon green, neon green paint. It's actually Creatix. So it's cheap, but it works. But it's a neon green paint is what I was using. This comes really close to that without being neon. It's one of the best colors they've come out with, because I was like, wow, you can actually paint your Necrons like that, and they get that glowy look to them.
So when you lay it down, like over whatever's going to glow, it definitely lets the metal show through it still.
Oh yeah.
So if it in its nature is designed to dry semi-transparent, then it's a glaze, right?
Okay.
If it's designed in its nature to dry opaque and you have to do something extra to it to make it transparent, it's probably a wash product. The technique is still the same technique, right? When you glaze, you're trying to make your paint transparent. Mm-hmm. And so anyone using this technical, what I would advise is, don't maybe use it right out of the pot. What I like to do when I'm doing something that's supposed to be transparent, get it loaded up in the brush, try to just touch a paper towel near you, let some of the excess moisture like just pull out of the brush because it's going to go to the paper towel. You still have all that transparent paint on the brush, and then go and apply it. And now that you've removed some of that moisture, you're going to have more control. And so it's not going to spill out over the edges, right? Sounds like an awesome little technical effect. A product that really nice emulates the technique called glazing. So I'm really interested in picking it up myself. Like I actually really liked GW's glaze line.
Mm-hmm. And they also came out with a wash paint that's supposed to go over the brass. That one I'm not so hot about because it was a lot darker than I thought it would be. Like it's darker than Agrax.
And opaque, and it dries more opaque.
Yeah, well, that one's a wash. It's, but it was darker than I cared for. I was like, I don't know how much I'll use this, or I will definitely thin it before applying it.
So let me ask you: is it thicker, like in consistency, compared to a traditional GW wash?
No, it's a wash.
Is it just like all the other GW washes? Because their washes are kind of thin, in my opinion, as far as like flow.
No, it's just like all the other GW washes. It was just darker than I was expecting.
Okay, so it's value wise, it's darker, same consistency you're used to. So it's like so going a step beyond.
I usually thin my null oil and Agrax anyway, so that they flow better. But Wyatt painted for me very, very generously Senor Skorpek. And so
his canon name has been established.
His canon name, yes, his real name. And it's dope. He did like a really good job with it. And it's not like some crazy, crazy nut thing that I can't recreate over my entire army. So that was very
Wyatt's really good. Wyatt's really good at using the effects at his disposal to create really interesting models that are at a sustainable paint job rate. That's like one of his specialties with his practical knowledge of scale modeling.
Yeah, because with my army, they're all painted Nailak Dynasty, but I literally painted my entire Necron army when I redid them in 7th as Nailak, but I did them deliberately, just 3-color minimum, so I could play them in a tournament. So they are not remotely close to finished. I just basically airbrushed the I'm trying to think, it's like Temple Green or Temple Blue or Lizard Man Blue, or one of those colors is what I used as the base, and airbrushed that over the entire army. And then I went through and just did that neon green over the top of it with gold accents. I just painted heads like straight up gold.
One of the most beautiful color combinations. I fucking love that color combination.
And it's easy. And the army on the table pops. It looks really good, but they're not done. It's literally just 3 colors. So when I saw Wyatt's adaptation of that paint scheme to Senor Skorpek, I was like, oh, this is cool, because this is like the next level of what I need to do on my army. There was just one thing that Wyatt did that I was like, I have to now redo my whole army like this. And it was the base. The base is fucking phenomenal. He put an accent of purple on the base that if you had told me about it, I'd have been like, purple with this blue, that's going to be dumb. And it's so sick.
It's funny is like this happened a couple of times where like I work really hard on one aspect of the model and I'm super proud of it, and I just kind of like jerk off on some other part of the model, and that is the thing that people are like, oh my god, that's so fucking dope. And I was like, I just painted it like gray and then sprayed transparent purple on it.
Yeah,
and
it looks great.
Like, oh, it looks so sick. And I was like, but I worked so hard on his like paint chip shoulders and did it all by hand, so it's realistic. Nobody cares about that.
It's a true story.
Can we see Senor Skorpek on Instagram or something?
It's on the Jack Club's Facebook page. So just type Jack of Clubs into the search on Facebook. Look for my logo. You'll see it.
Does your logo have a club, like a playing card club on it?
Yes.
Where
it says Jack of Clubs.
It's not a spade.
No.
That never happened.
Only for the first like 2 months of me streaming on Twitch like 3 years ago. That happened.
So to the chat, a couple interesting hobby topic we have here. Lavaris in chat, he's like, so it's kind of like they mixed Nona oil with Agrax Earthshade. This new wash. That's how dark.
I would call it more of a dark sepia tone.
Makes sense. And when Haspil, he says he thins his washes down from GW all the time, which I concur. But I would say GW, in my opinion, makes the second best washes out there as far as like reliability, consistency, like what you know what's going to happen most of the time. But I'd say like their biggest issue, and this is anyone out there using them, is that they're thin. And you typically want to thin your washes, right? For sure. So why would it be bad that they're already thin? It's because the thicker a wash, the more ability it has to stick to softer shelves and details in a model. The thinner it is, the more or less likely it is to pull that off. And it's looking for the deeper grooves and recesses as it's being pulled down by gravity. So starting with something a little thicker by nature and then being able to get it to the thinness you want will give you best of both worlds, where you can actually shade some of those more soft organic shells, like less than 90 degrees. GW is tricky to get it any thicker than it is right now, but it can be done. You could definitely thicken it up with just even like an acrylic medium if that's what you were looking for. But I used GW washes for like literally a straight 6 years unstopped. Like I loved them. And then it wasn't until more like 4 years ago that I switched to Army painters because of their thicker nature that I'm 100% more in control of. To the point now when I teach classes with people, they're like, all I have is GW washes. I'm like, we're not doing the wash class until you get to Army painter washes. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Because I can't teach you the active washing system with a paint that can never be thicker than it is. So, but it's still really good, and it works really well with GW's painting system, which is essentially painting models almost 100% the midtone and pin washing the recesses. That's kind of what they preach, right? So it works perfectly with that. And I'm anxious to actually pick some of these new colors up because I do like reviewing GW's products, and I don't think they make objectively bad paints or technical effects. I think they're overpriced, but I think they have a really decent paint formula with a really decent, pigment to medium ratio. It's just like not the best, and even the best ones aren't as expensive as theirs. So that's where I get to hang up.
Yeah, that I can't say enough good things about that. The glow, that technical glow, the Necron glow. It's amazing. It's really, really cool.
Yo, I'm into it, man. I love man. Bloodletter red, Gilliman blue glaze, like all those glazes I used to put out. Mm-hmm. Man, that was fucking hot. Waywatcher green. That was the on my road to discovering Necrotite green from Privateer Press. Like on that journey, Waywatcher green was like when I knew I needed to go up a notch, and that's what led to my love affair with Necrotite green. Man, I miss some of those colors, man. Man, that was a fun discussion, man. Getting to talk about some hobby shit. It's almost like that's more than half of what we do. Secretly, more than half of what we do is to physically touch our models with our hands and fantasize about them.
I literally just line up armies on the table and look at them.
Look at them.
Kind of sad. It's kind of sad, but that's what I do.
Like little dioramas of them and just...
I do.
Yeah.
I lay out like whole cities and then just lay out like, I don't just put them in the deployment zone. I make little displays that no one sees but me.
Did you used to do that when you guys were kids too with like your toys?
Of course.
Yeah, not really. Not with me.
I used to do that with my Ninja Turtle toys. I'd lay out my whole bedroom, all the turtle toys, everything I had, and make a little town with a narrative and just leave it that way. My dad would come and be like, clean this fucking mess up. It's like, hold the fucking phone. This is very specific, man. He comes and just a disaster. Like, still doing that, 37 years old. Oh, man. So, app. Transition into the app. What's your guys' experience with it? Any of you guys buy it, download it, get the paid wall? What's up?
Yeah, so, I just got it today because it, due to the way like the Apple Store does things where they like sequester stuff and have to test everything, it only came out on iOS today. So I got it, signed up for it with the My Warhammer account. It is still a little buggy because like when I try to log back in, it's telling me I still need to subscribe. But I found if I hit just use the free app, I was still logged in. So it let me have all the subscription stuff. The $4.99 I had no problem with. I like seeing all the data sheets and points and everything for all my stuff. The only gripe I had with that is that like when I was looking at my Grey Knight stuff, I didn't like the fact that it had the Grey Knight Codex stuff, in the Grey Knight Codex, and then to find all the other stuff, I had to go look up a ritual of the
Ritual of the Damned or whatever it is.
Ritual of the Damned or whatever, which is like laid out alphabetically with all the stratagems. So it's like hard to find the stratagems that you're looking for.
Let's expand on that. It is alphabetically, but the bad thing is that every single faction stratagem are in a single alphabetical list.
Yes, that's
why that's bad. Yes.
Yeah. Right, so alphabetical, not necessarily a bad thing for stratagems, but when it's like, I want to check my Death Guard stratagems in War of the Spider, and it has every single stratagem in that entire book in a single list vomited out onto the thing, not great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one of the things I would suggest, and Rob said that if we had suggestions, we go to 40K app at gwplc.com and suggest stuff. So
Haspil, what are your suggestions?
One of the things I would like to see immediately would be if I look for Grey Knight stuff, all the Grey Knight stuff is in one place. And maybe just have like an annotation saying this is from Ritual of the Damned, or this is from such and such supplement, right? But have everything just be in one place. And I don't think that's hard to do. Like somebody in the chat just said keyword filter. And I'm like, exactly, right? If I type in Grey Knights, everything Grey Knights should just come up in one area. So that I don't have to hunt for it because I'm lazy. One of the other things, and obviously they're going to have a lot of growing pains. The first thing that they have to put out is the army builder, because that's what everyone's waiting for. But after they get all that done, I would love to have like the ability to send my list, to build a list and send it to somebody that also has the app, right? So if I go, hey, me and Wyatt are playing a game, let me just send him my list. There you go.
Yo, that's a fucking great idea.
That would be really cool. We wanted to see score sheets. I would love to see that Crusade tracker in there. So that would be very, very cool. Except that I already bought the little Crusade tracking journal on Saturday.
I bought that too. I thought that it was just a journal, and not realizing it was like purely for Crusade. And I was like, oh, cool. I need like a new notebook for when I play, because my current one is filled up. And I got home and I opened it and I was like, oh, lame.
Well, you know what, Wyatt? I will send you a journal because you sent me Senior Score Pack. Hold on. Let me show you.
There's probably some 4th edition relic Haspil has and knows exactly where it is.
Oh, I'm down for that.
Probably like the 4th edition journal that has nothing written in it for the last 10 years.
A holy tome.
I will send you that.
Oh, dope. Cool.
A journal with an Aquila on it? Damn, what is that, $99.99?
Yeah, so, and it is a journal. So
sweet. Yeah, that's what I need.
So I'll throw that in the mail for you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, some of the other things I would like to see eventually would be like incorporating a dice roller, a chess clock, and maybe, I don't know, maybe a game tracker kind of thing. That would be kind of cool, because then you could say you could do worldwide events if they incorporated that.
Right. Like, because if you want your app to have equity beyond accessing a book you purchased, then it's got to do more things. So like, definitely need that army builder stat. And then, like I'd like a dice app that's like an actual, just like number generator dice app, and not like some tedious mini game that's slower than actually rolling dice. That'd be great. And I agree on all points. Like chess clock, yes. Score sheet, yes. Game tracker, yes. Need all that stuff. That'd be dope.
Mm-hmm. And then if I wanted to be pie in the sky, this would have to be like a year down the road. I would like to see support for other 40K games like Kill Team, Necromunda, Black Fortress, stuff like that. but that's obviously they need to get it worked and honed for Warhammer 40K before we can start messing around with other game systems.
Yeah, chat, like definitely a tournament, like Chad was talking about ITC rankings, a tournament tracker, a unified tournament tracker, like everything Mike's saying, like if everything we already do anyway, like a chess clock, dice app, list validation, even being able to like see other members of the app, and like send them your lists for validation, tournament organizer, tournament tracker, all these things. It's like everything we do, but it's like, that's already 3 apps just for playing the game, list building, and going through your resources, right? And then we're talking like, well, what about a dice app? That's a 4th app. We're talking about chess clock apps, right? 5th. You can get this 5-in-1. That'd be pretty amazing. And so what was that link again for suggestions? Anybody listen to this, if you agree with Mike, you should definitely get in on this.
Yeah, I think Rob said it was 40K app at gwplc.com.
Yeah, if we can get together and just like let them know. Sometimes it's not enough to just bitch on the internet on a fucking Facebook page.
Oh yeah. Also, there's a way that you do. Okay, so collectively, we're doing a call to action. Like we need to go be Karens about this, but there is a very specific way that we should be Karens about this, and it is not to be insulting. Basically, if it is at all aggressive, if your stuff is at all negative in any way, Games Workshop will ignore it. They're like George Lucas. They like yes men. So any type of comment that you put in has to be like, hey, I would really like this. Just that's it. Be very clean, cut, concise, no aggressiveness, no negativity of any kind, or else they'll just throw it in the dumpster and not look at it. But if people are like, hey, I think it would be a really good idea if we could have like a dice app.
Yeah, don't spend 2 paragraphs talking about how shit it is and then throw your 1 sentence suggestion.
Yeah, do not do that thing that tons of people do, which is like a backhanded compliment, where it's like you compliment somebody but also insult them in the same sentence. Like, don't do that. They'll throw that away immediately. Won't listen to you.
That's good. Solid advice. Yeah. I had a similar experience, Mike, with the app because I downloaded it for the first time last night. Game $4.99. Got my Warhammer account. Instantly discovered I couldn't download it on iOS. Downloaded it on my tablet as a gag for our tactics discussion we did earlier today. I was like, oh, this would be fucking great with all these, all the bad news we already heard. Just to load it up into Death Guard just to see that all my data sheets were there with points associated and all my abilities. I don't even own a Death Guard codex, guys. I'm the kind of guy who like knows enough about 40K and using Battlescribe, I pretty much got it figured out. And then if I need the codex to go to an event, I buy it. And oftentimes never even take it out of the shrink wrap because I never need a call on it. I just for $4.99 actually bought the Death Guard codex, which is the army I'm working on right now. Right? I have my Drukari Harlequin commission done and it's being mailed to me right now. I don't own either of those codexes. Psych, I do. So like, I was very pleased with that discovery. To echo you guys, was a little disappointed with not being able to go through the War Spider and find my stratagems with a keyword search. And so I feel like if enough of us say that, hey, get that keyword search in there. Come on, let's get all the rules for the relevant faction in the same place. Come on, I think that it would happen. I think it would fucking actually happen. Because GW wants this app to be successful so they can get paid. So let's work together with them and get, something for our money, a little bit more valuable. Also, I wanted to, K.R. Coyne, the oldest man on the internet, was in chat. I see he's been talking about the missions, and he said, talk about the missions. We talked about the missions for about 3 weeks in a row on this podcast. And if you listen to the previous 3 episodes, you can kind of hear our journey, like our initial gut check, where we didn't know what the missions were, but we just could see and it smelled a certain way, to now we can see them, but then let's wait for the GT book. And then the GT book comes out. So we went on a little journey. Last 4 episodes really cover that. But what I will say here to the market with these new missions, it fundamentally alters the way we play the game. We had a little anecdote from today's tactics class, tactics discussion, was Defilers. Defilers are the talk of the town right now, the belle of the ball, as it were, for Chaos. And it's not because they're cheaper than they used to be. They're not. They're the same. They're literally the same fucking unit, right? Now, if you play Death Guard, you can spend 2 CPs and get some field of paint on them. That's spicy. But ultimately, the change in table size and the way we play the game has suddenly made a unit that's been sitting on the sidelines for a while useful. Rhinos with dudes in them. When was the last time you really saw someone playing a Chaos Army with rhinos with dudes in them? You're seeing tons of people preaching that right now. Chaos armies, like, yo, I got 5 Plague Marines and a rhino. Suddenly that plays because the new missions, the new table size factors in, but like what we need to accomplish in a game, yet again, has breathed life into a unit that hasn't seen play in some time at a realistic level. So all negative things aside about how we predict the future of these missions from what we've seen in the past, it's never a bad thing when what the list of effective units grows or at least changes. And back in the day when every tournament had a different mission format, you had a pretty big collection. Like Haspil would look at his Necrons in 4th edition, going into 5th edition and be like, oh, wait, let's look at the missions. Ooh, I need 2 monoliths for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, that's how we used to play the game. And now it's more like we get a good army dialed in. We play it endlessly in ATC until an FAQ drops. And that's what changes our minds. So, like, not saying ITC is bad. Love it. It's just that there's nothing wrong with unlocking the viability of new units and playing that way for a little while. And then as the tides have changed, or, you know, ebb and flow, and it'll change again. And then we have a nice, awesome collection with a bunch of new models to draw from. So I don't have a problem with it. I've gotten it all in my system, to echo Wyatt from last episode. And I'm actually really excited to play these new missions. That's just one man's opinion. One man's opinion.
I'm sad to say I haven't actually been able to read the rules yet. So it's been crazy busy. I do really love the little rule book that they put out, though. The grand tournament one, that's fantastic. They need to be doing more of that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna campaign for every book to be spiral bound. Every book spiral bound. Let's do it. And I thought about what you said, Kenny. And if you look at the way they did this, looks exactly the same as a regular ass book on the shelf.
Holy shit!
Because you were like, wow, but people want their like nice, you know, spine bound book on the shelf. Like this has got it. Looks exactly the same.
Oh my God. GW, you fucking geniuses.
So I'm saying every book, spiral bind that shit.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Someone in chat, I want to say Carter, I think you said this a couple times. I'm going to acknowledge him right now. Nurglings are OP in these missions. Change my mind. Look, bro, Nurglings, in my opinion, were fucking kind of dirty, undercosted little fucking savior units in the last edition too. I am actually the current owner of the largest out of print Nurgling collection in the United States. Like, so units that can infiltrate, units that are hideable, units that are reasonably pointed, that have 12 collective wounds and disgusting resilience and an invulnerable save, that only have 3 models and are kind of borderline immune to morale because of that fact. They are really fucking good. And they are really good. And Swarm can now move through certain things that used to not be able to move through. That was always kind of the problem. You deploy them in a magic box. They lived in that box. They couldn't actually leave it. Nurglings are real good. The issue is that crossing detachments in 9th edition is costly. So like building an army a la carte where some of the most effective Death Guard units are Nurgle keyword units and drawing upon a ridiculous amount of Nurglings is not as easy and as like bankable as it used to be. But I'm 100% with you, man. Nurglings are fucking good. Any objective skill unit that's easy to hide, somewhat resilient, reasonably pointed, that can infiltrate, fuck yeah, dude. Is that yep. Oh yeah, Kara Quinn. God, he's so salty. He's so salty about the missions. Look, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, Kara Quinn. But here's the thing, right? If taking objectives and surviving is the name of the game, then to react to that, it's the opposite, right? Moving and killing. So like, you need to be focused on the ability to stop someone from doing that as equally as you're focused on doing it. So I think that the pendulum is going to swing right to that. I believe that. And so I'm just like preemptively striking by building lists that way. But I could be wrong. I have literally been wrong about a billion things. in my 37 years of life.
And speaking about being wrong, when I was talking about the app earlier, saying that, hey, if I said use free app, it had me still logged in. That is true, but it does not unlock the content anymore. So my workaround does not work. So it is a bug. They're going to have to fix that.
So you're having trouble logging in iOS and having it recognize you?
Yeah. So it's basically asking me to subscribe again, even though I'm already subscribed. And I tried restore purchases and it won't, just hangs.
When I clicked subscribe, that happened to me, and I just said, okay, I'll subscribe again with the same information. And it was like, you're already subscribed, and it logged me in.
No, it's just spinning. It's just sitting here.
Fuck.
So
everyone's got their own unique iOS bug. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's day one of the iOS version, so they're going to have growing pains for a while.
I love it when the solution's always uninstall and reinstall a program.
Yeah, that's always solid.
Good program. But I feel like without Rob here, we didn't even talk about Titanicus. We didn't talk about that new awesome meme you guys posted, or one of you guys posted.
Oh, where where everybody else was just like
Titanicus players and everyone else.
Yeah. And then Titanicus players are up high, like looking down on everyone.
I thought you were talking about how Peter Parker selling pictures of Spider-Man was the original OnlyFans.
Also, truly a fucking amazing meme. Man, we got to get a meme of the week segment for when Rob's
we have a meme channel on the Long War Discord called The Dank Hole.
The Dank Hole. Long War Discord.
You can post whatever you want. I mean, like there's a dankometer, and if you exceed said dankometer, we'll let you know. But it's hard to get too dank in the dank hole.
Yeah, we let it ride. I'm actually going to grab a link right now that is a non-expiring link. So anyone watching live has an opportunity to hit this link, jump in that Discord server, post their models. But as far as this episode of the podcast, minus our immortal lizard overlord leader, I think we've done it. So I'm in an interesting predicament here where I can't send it over to Rob. I think we're done, Wyatt.
I think we are. Haspil, take us out of here.
Just because we're holding hands doesn't mean we'll be taking warm showers together until the wee hours of the morning.